This video is dedicated to Christian Roberts. Christian, thank you. Yarok the Desecrated versus Heliod Suncrowned, Gishath Sun's Avatar and Tatyova Benthic Druid. No lands, so that is an obvious mulligan, which allows us to go into Guardian Project maybe. Maybe Demonic Tutor just has to be a land. We will keep on that one. Well, we just so happen to get ourselves into a land anyway, so that is a turn 3 Guardian Project. I think we can go green and black with the Windswept Heath. Don't know if we have... No, I built this deck before the Triomes came out, so we don't have that in there. Just go for the Overgrown Tomb. Noticeably, a Serra Ascendant came down on turn 1 from the Heliod player. Now another turn 1 play in Birds of Paradise. Up against 3 patrons of the channel, by the way. Drone of War is on Tatyova. Billy Kills on Gishath, Sun's Avatar. And then Go Batman on Heliod, Suncrowned. Then Tatyova being swung into by a 6/6 Serra Ascendant going down to 34. I think we are on a go slow in Thought Vessel here. So yeah, let's get down the Thought Vessel. We don't want to look like any type of a threat. They got down Grateful Apparition last turn, which is pretty much a mono white throwing bird. Lotus Cobra getting off to a pretty good start over there. The only means of blue mana they've got is Birds of Paradise and Landfall though. So wouldn't blame the mono white player for peppering Tatyova across the next few turns with that Serra Ascendant. Wayward Sawtooth from the dinosaur player will allow them to make another land, which they do make in Kazandu Refuge. And then Heliod Suncrowned comes down, so that is lifelink from the Serra Ascendant, and they will get a plus counter on something here. This triggers when it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. The 6/6 goes in at Gishath this time. We get the 1/1 flyer. And they do stack it correctly, so a plus counter goes on here, and then it gives itself another one. We get a Zeusa, which isn't going to be much use to us. I think maybe we just continue to ramp. Let's have a look with Demonic Tutor. And I think we're okay to just go in for Chromatic Lantern. I don't think that's going to make anyone worry. Means that we take less life to the Ancient Tomb as well. And if we don't get into a coloured mana source next turn, then it's not the end of the world because we've got all our coloured mana in Chromatic Lantern. Could have gone for Hostage Taker there and gotten rid of the Serra Ascendant and then cast it under our control, but I like the idea of this thing wailing on each other player. That assumes it doesn't come in at us, of course. Zeusa from Tatyova, so you would assume that they've got some lands to make here. Another forest. And they make green off of the Lotus Cobra, and apparently they did have an island. And then a fetch as well, so this is where the Tatyova player can make a heap of mana. They get down their Tatyova and they've got a land to crack as well. But leaving it for now. Wood Elves from the dinosaur player. And then holding up 3 mana, it goes straight back round to the mono white player's turn. I'm just hoping that they don't go in with both of these at us, because we would like to keep ourselves at least 30 life to keep the Serra Ascendant online if we decide to steal it from them. So let's see how they swing in here. They've just given their Grateful Apparition lifelink as well. That goes in at Drone of War. The 3/3 goes in over there as well, so that is a big hit. The Heliod will trigger twice and distribute some plus counters, both of which go onto the Serra Ascendant. Heliod triggers and puts a plus counter on this thing, so that's now an 8/8. Soldier of the Pantheon just has protection from multicoloured. Agent of Treachery, don't think we can cast. Yeah, so I think at this point it has to be Hostage Taker. As much as I like it wailing on the Tatyova player, we can always start doing that ourselves next turn. I don't like the mono white player having lots and lots of life, because that can win them the game by itself. So let's go for the Hostage Taker, trigger the Soldier of the Pantheon. Alright, I hope that we're not seeing some counter magic here, because it's not Tatyova that we're aiming ourselves towards. I mean, if they do counter the hostage taker, it might open them up to the mono white player to carry on beating them up. Yeah, they're going for something here. Might be double blue mana into the counter magic. They haven't asked us what we're doing, so they might just be incorrectly assuming that we're going to go after them. Yep, there we go. Actually, we're going to help them out there, so that is a needless counter spell, but not to worry. We just need to hope that the mono white player doesn't start swinging in at us. Verdant Catacombs coming down on their turn now. And it might be that they get to refill their hand this turn. And that took them into a Dungrove Elder, whose power and toughness is equal to the number of forests they control. And cracking the Verdant Catacombs takes them up to 3 cards in hand and 26 life. And they pass the turn like that. Sylvan Library from Gishath. That will hopefully be able to get them into some white mana. A Raging Regisaur now. Deals 1 damage to any target when it attacks. So that's more of an enrage enabler than anything else. Now Heliod giving the Soldier of the Pantheon lifelink. And all of their stuff has plus counters on it. Giving the Spirit lifelink as well, so that is a lot of power when a lot of life going to be gained here. All of it, apart from the Soldier, is going in towards Drone of War. We are going to take 3 from the Soldier of the Pantheon. And they block the Serra Ascendant with the Birds of Paradise. I think they've got enough mana at this point. Still go down to 21 though. Go is up to 79. Hoping for a land here, and there we go, Reliquary Tower, that's really good. Don't mind drawing into another colourless land, thanks to grabbing the Chromatic Lantern before. So let's throw that out there. We'll go Guardian Project. And then we can go Necromancy as well, and try again with the Hostage Taker maybe. If they've got Counter Magic, then I'd like it out of their hands, so yeah, we'll go for the Necromancy here. And I think, seeing as how Go is being kind to us fairly, we will go after the Tatyova and force them to recast that. Wasn't going to do that last turn, but I'll do it now for the counter spell. And we can't cast the Serra Ascendant this turn anyway, thanks to having to tap out. So we'll just play into the what was a potential misplay before. And we drew into Soul of the Harvest, not getting into any of our ramp unfortunately, that's why we're so far behind I think. But hopefully we've slowed the Tatyova player down a nice amount. As far ahead as Go is on life and has a really good board state creature-wise, 1 board wipe should be able to sort him out. So forcing 7 mana for the Tatyova player to go into Tatyova. And then they play themselves a Ghost Quarter, which might go onto our Ancient Tomb to punish us. No, they are destroying one of their own lands in order to get landfall. And they grab themselves an island, Lotus Cobra and Tatyova trigger again. And now it is Curse of the Swine, so eventually getting rid of those white cards. Grateful Apparition, and the Serra Ascendant going down, replaced by some boar tokens. So now Tatyova is definitely the one to worry about. 4 cards left in hand, and they have their commander in play, as well as some other really good lands matter stuff. Diligent Farmhand from the Dinosaur player, and then Ripjaw Raptor. So if this swings in, they can deal 1 damage to that, and it'll draw them a card. And they are deciding to swing in at us. We'll just take the 4. I'll hold on to the Hostage Taker so that it can block something bigger. They do deal that 1 damage to Ripjaw Raptor. Adorned Pouncer now is a cheap double striker that can be eternalized. And they can give that lifelink next turn with Heliod if they want to, giving it to the Soldier of the Pantheon this time. And that's coming in at us as well. Yeah, people seem to be more worried about us than the Tatyova player at this point. So we'll just have to eat 7, because we can't block that. Okay, Panharmonicon, we're not getting into the mana, unfortunately. So I think we're kind of forced to go for Agent of Treachery. And maybe we can steal that Tatyova away. Could steal the Sylvan Library, could steal the Heliod so that there's less lifelink shenanigans going on. But I think Tatyova's going to do the most damage. We can gain a little bit of life and some card draw here and there with that. We might draw into a land here actually with Guardian Project. But of course we don't. Just getting into more big stuff. Drawing into everything in the wrong order this game, unfortunately. We'll just have to hold back. Might be that we're seeing a board wipe within the next turn or so anyway. Shamanic Revelation, draw a card for each creature you control. That will be 3 in this instance. They go up to 7 again. And after that it is a Destiny Spinner. We're the only white player at the table. We do have a little bit of counter magic in here, I think, so that Destiny Spinner might be of some relevance. And obviously they can animate lands with it as well. But just deciding to leave it there, probably holding up some counter magic. And the farmhand gets sacrificed for a land. Noteworthy that they've got a Rogue's Passage in play. Billy kills once again, as he often does with this deck, just quietly accruing value over there with Gishath. Might be that if they go for it here, it gets countered anyway. Then it is Antviv, Champion of the Wilds. And they are looking at the top 3 cards. Now making use of the Rogue's Passage to make this thing unblockable because they want to swing in and ping their enraged creature. So they do exactly that, not sure who they're swinging in at yet. Going in towards the mono white player. Pristine Talisman is some ramp and more means of life gain. So they tap that immediately, putting a plus counter on the double striking Pouncer. Then giving it lifelink as well. And the 7/6 coming in at us again. Wow, the double striker coming in at us as well. Very worried about us. Yeah, I'll block the Pouncer as well. And now it's a Manglehorn. Not too many enchantments and artifacts this game, which is very unusual. Yeah, not sure what to do. Maybe we go Woodland Bellower and just try and get more blockers into play. I think that's the way to go here. And we'll just have to hope it doesn't get countered by Drone of War, which it probably will. And it comes straight into play, so let's put the Guardian Project on the stack first. We don't want to draw into whatever it is that we want to tutor for with the Woodland Bellower. And I'm thinking we're going for E-Witness here so that we can make a couple of lands and draw a couple of cards with Tatyova. And that will draw us a card as well. E-Witness grabs the Windswept Heath. And we get into a fetch anyway. Yeah, getting into some lands there, so let's drop the Windswept Heath. Draw a card with our opponent's Tatyova. And now we're getting into the lands, of course. Yeah, isn't that typical? Yep, and getting into nothing but lands, so hopefully we'll actually be able to do something this game. I think we're limping along steadily, but we seem to be drawing people's ire here. Or at least the white player's ire. Oh, that's pretty bad. Avenger of Zendikar. I think a land was already made there because I saw the Lotus Cobra trigger. But they've got multiple lands to make in a turn with Azusa. There is a command beacon. It only puts it into your hand from the command zone, so they can't steal it from us with the command beacon. But getting a bunch of big plant tokens into play now. Haven't seen a board wipe yet, unfortunately. We've been needing one for most of the game so far. Runic Armasaur from the Dinosaur player now, which might be relevant with our fetch and the strip mine. Now going for the Rogue's Passage play again. And we'll see where the 4/4 is swinging in this time. Going in at the white player, as is the Sabertooth. And again they trigger Enrage. Then Spinerock Null being activated here because 7 or more damage has been dealt this turn. That takes them into, that's a good one to cheat in, Zetalpa, Primal Dawn. I wonder if people are going to start paying attention to Billy Kills now. Loyal Unicorn. And they do control their commander. So prevent all damage that will be dealt to creatures you control this turn at the beginning of combat. And they all have Vigilance as well. So a bunch of stuff going in at Tatyova now, that's good. deciding to leave us alone for a little bit. Worried about the Avenger of Zendikar, seemingly. These two blocking a boar each. Both of those will survive, and then chump in with some plants. Still got 8 plant tokens left. Then with the 2 mana that they've got up, they give this thing lifelink, so it will deal damage. And it is a plus counter onto the boar. Oh, and their boars survived. They managed to get plus counters onto their boars. So both of those survived, and they got rid of the Destiny Spinner. Oh wow, and that dates this deck, doesn't it? So apparently since the playgroup decided to ban Cyclonic Rift, I have not played this deck. So apologies for that to my opponents, I won't overload that. How can I make the Tatyova player counter my stuff? Maybe we just try our commander finally. That will allow us to hold up 3 mana, so our aim is to get down Azusa this turn. Be great if we manage to land Yarok, because that will get Tatyova a bunch of card draw and life gain. And yeah, we get the double Guardian Project triggers as well, so our opponents do have someone to worry about at this point. Or multiple players to worry about, that is. Let's get down the Azusa. And that draws us a couple of cards as well, and would you look at it, yeah, now we're getting into all the lands that we wanted. Are there any lands to worry about? I don't think so. So let's drop a Bloodstained Mire. Draw a couple of cards and gain a couple of life with Tatyova. Here are all the lands. Wooded Foothills as well. I'm just going to play all the fetches. Field of the Dead is definitely going to make our opponents worry. I don't know if we should play Field of the Dead yet. Yeah, I think we almost have to, don't we? Yeah, let's get Field into play. That triggers Tatyova and Field of the Dead twice. Thanks to our Yarok. And there we've got a Vamp Tutor. So that is worth putting a stop on the upkeep. We might still want to go for a board wipe next turn. Yeah, so maybe we just have to hold on to Cyclonic Rift here. I don't think they're going to take us out with the plant tokens next turn. Plus we've got blockers for them anyway. But I'm thinking we hold on to as much as we can here. Yeah, we can play the Sol Ring next turn. I'd rather have the landfall. So let's just hold on to Cyclonic Rift and pass. Ideally, the Tatyova player would play a big spell here, and then we can maybe bounce the Avenger of Zendikar so that they can't take advantage of plus counters on this. They also couldn't replay it and then play the lands. But I doubt they do that. And I doubt we use the Cyclonic Rift for that, even if we are worried about the plant tokens. Probably have to keep an eye on these Atalpa. Yeah, Drone's saying that he's being punished for not having his commander, which is definitely a problem with Tatyova. Evolution Sage. They can make multiple lands in a turn, so those plants might become a massive threat. So with that one land, the plants jump up to 3/4s. One bunch of plus counters from the Avenger of Zendikar and another from the Evolution Sage. And they do indeed have another land, and of all the lands it's a Gaia's Cradle. So they are 5/6 plants now. So one card left, and let's see what they do with these plants. They may well just swing them all in at us for stealing their commander. Well, there's some going in at us. Yeah, looks like we are eating all of them. Yeah, they are all going in at us, so let's try and make some zombies to block all this stuff with. That will trigger the Runic Armasaur, and Billy Kills will draw a couple of cards here. Get into a Bayou, gain some life, draw some cards, and get some tokens in. And there we go, finally getting into a board wipe in Decree of Pain. 58 cards left in the library, it might be worth attempting to go for that. So let's just block a bunch of these plants, I think. Yeah, they are 5/6s. So I don't think I'm worried about taking any of them out. We'll just block. So blocking each one of them with zombies and the Eternal Witness. Rhythm of the Wild from Billy Kills. Triggering Soldier of the Pantheon again. So they can get stuff down that's uncounterable, and it will have haste as well. They're probably setting up for their commander here. Might have to use the Cyclonic Rift on that. And there's a Goring Ceratops, which will come in with haste, no doubt. Other creatures you control gain double strike until the end of the turn when it swings in. And it looks like we're going through to combat now, so... yeah, Gogo's asking if anyone can do 2 to me. So let's see here. It looks as though Gogo has got something planned for us. We'll ask Billy Kills where he's swinging. Yeah, I'm not sure how the white player is planning to kill me. It's probably not Aetherflux Reservoir. Billy Kills isn't talking to us, so he's probably swinging in at us and just doesn't want to say it. Yeah, I think we just have to hold up the Cyclonic Rift and hope that we can do something to Gogo. I don't know what his plan is to get rid of us there. Oh, and now he's answered as soon as I pass priority. So there's a bunch of double strike that is going to attack in here. I assumed that this was always going to come in at us, so that doesn't so much matter. Oh, now they're pulling it back. Now it's going in at Gogo. That one's coming in at us. This will give all of their stuff double strike. And Gogo, it's noteworthy, wants to deal 2 points of damage to us, so that he can do something to us next turn. It's probably worked out combat or something. So once again, the Raging Regisaur coming into the red zone and drawing them a card. Oh no, it's dealing 1 damage to this, so they want to try and have this survive, I imagine. So deciding not to draw a card. So we've got this coming in at us. That is as well. Then the big flyer going into the right. And this is coming in at us as well. Okay, I think we keep hold of the Cyclonic Rift. I think we might have to bounce the Heliod. So if we're going for the board wipe next turn anyway, why don't we... yeah, it'd be nice to drop a bunch of lands with Azusa next turn, so we'll try and keep that in play. Let's get rid of that thing. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. And yeah, I think everything trades there near enough. So Tatyova going straight back into the command zone. Yarok going into the command zone as well. We gain some life and go up to 28. Ripjaw will be dealt some damage. It will die and draw Billy Kills a card. And Gogo is down to 80 life. So now we just have to hope that the Cyclonic Rift can save us here. They gain a life from the Pristine Talisman and put a plus counter on the double striker. Then it's lifelink on the double striker. And then it is Abzan Falconer, which gives all of their stuff flying. That was probably their big play here. So we'll wait for them to declare attackers. They're probably just switching everything sideways in at us, although the Loyal Unicorn doesn't turn things sideways, does it? So we're not blocking anything here anyway. Yeah, they're just looking to turn everything in sideways at us. So during attacks, before blocks are declared, we'll go Cyclonic Rift. We want the double striker wrapped up in a board wipe, really, don't we? Although we're going to take a bunch of damage to that, so yeah, let's just go after the double striker. And that will knock Heliod. And that will knock Heliod off of Devotion as well. So we won't take quite as much. We're going to take a big hit though. Yeah, taking a hit for 17 here. Do we just block with Azusa? I would very much like to get extra lands into play next turn. Yeah, I think we just take it. And we'll have to hope that this isn't a counterspell over here. Everyone seems to be looking in our direction anyway, so it's pretty much a 3-on-1 at this point, I think. We get Polluted Delta. The fetches don't matter so much anymore. Yeah, I don't know what we want to do here in particular. Let's just make some lands. And we're triggering Field of the Dead, aren't we? So we're going to lose those zombie tokens, unfortunately, but we're planning on wiping the board anyway. I'd rather make the lands and potentially have the board wipe counted. Because if the board wipe's counted, that's pretty much us done for anyhow. We'll make a Sol Ring off of the Thought Vessel. And we can always go for the Tutor off of Decree of Pain as well. So let's go for it now. And there we are, it's round to our turn. I don't think I'm that bothered about Vampiric Tutor, to be honest. I think I'm happy to just see this resolve. Seems to have gone through really quickly. And there we are. We go down to 31 cards in our library. We've got some spot removal, some more lands. What can we steal with this? Is it only creatures? Yeah, potentially need a flyer in play really, although we've got the Assassin's Trophy, although that is indestructible, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do about Zetalpa. Maybe just have to put a flyer in the way of it, and then hold up Vamp Tutor as well. I think that's pretty much all we can do here. Unfortunately, had to make all of our landfall triggers before the board wipes, so we can't steal these Zetalpa away. And Solemn Simulacrum now. Yeah, we'll just have to pass at that. Tatyova coming back down again. They had to put 9 mana into that, making a land again straight away. They can only make 1 a turn though. Oh, and I forgot about the Rogue's Passage actually. Yeah, I should have played the Strip Mine most likely. So they can make this unblockable and take us down to 8, or take us down by 8, down to 1. They've also got a haste enabler as well, so we're probably done for. If they don't play a creature here, then I'll consider myself very lucky. I don't think they've played their Gishath yet. Yeah, and there we go. That comes down with haste. It has trample as well, so that's us done for. I don't think we were ever going to do anything there because we're too far behind for too long. Didn't get into any of our ramp in the early game. I think we managed to stabilise very nicely though. And giving a buff to all of their stuff with Return of the Wild Speaker. Yeah, so I think we were going down here anyway. Didn't draw into anything that could deal with an indestructible creature, unfortunately. Was hoping for Song of the Dryads or something like that. And they take both in at us, surprisingly. Obviously expecting us to do something with that 1 mana. So let's just take it. And the Quartzwood Crasher will deal damage to us and create a big trampling token. And that's us done. Down to -14. Then it's round to Gogo's turn. Of course, Celebrant comes down and triggers itself, so they'll gain a life every time they have a creature enter. Now let's see if Tatyova can do anything with all the mana untapped. Well, they made a land there, so they draw another card. And then a trade routes that will allow them to make landfall consistently. But deciding to just leave the turn at that, they might go for bouncing a bunch of lands and discarding them to refill their hand or go down quite a bit of mana doing that though. Now it's round to Billy Kills' turn, and I think I saw them, in the chat, talking about wanting to get rid of Gogo. There's been some discussions of threat assessment going on in the Discord and in my comment sections in the videos. I think you need to worry more about the Tatyova player because Tatyova can explode out of nowhere. I know that the mono white player has a lot of life, but they can't necessarily do anything with it unless they get into Aetherflux Reservoir maybe. But even then they can only take 1 player out. I think you kind of have to hedge your bets and hope that the mono white player doesn't get into Aetherflux Reservoir and try and take out Tatyova as best you can here, if your Billy Kills, that is. But deciding to go after the player with the highest life total, I think I would have definitely turned everything in sideways and gotten rid of the Simic player there. Anyway, putting a plus counter on the core Celebrant off of the Pristine Talisman. Maybe this is Teferi's Protection or something like that. It is Generous Gift. Going on to the Quartzwood Crasher. They're going to get a bunch more dinosaurs into play off of Gishath potentially. That is Congregation at Dawn. Search your library for 3 creature cards and put them on top in any order. So hopefully Gogo has a swords here. So revealed there was Galter, Primal Hunger, A Silverclad Ferocidons, that is a really scary enrage creature in dinosaur decks. And Zakama, Primal Calamity, will not untap the lands, thankfully. And did they get into anything else? They've also gotten themselves a Cacophodon. Savage Beating, Reinforcements. Yeah, they just got that additional dinosaur. So the dinosaur player is the one to beat at this point, knocking Go-Go down to 44 life and 8 commander. Sun Titan for the mono white player. And this is exactly what I was talking about with the threat assessment before. There's not a whole lot of anything that Go-Go can get into to help them here, I don't think, because they just don't have a lot of mana. They've been missing land drops for a lot of the game. Getting themselves into Soldier of the Pantheon from the Sun Titan doesn't really do much of anything for them. They get a plus counter onto Sun Titan from the Heliod and the Core Celebrant, by the way. Heliod already has some plus counters on it, so one will go onto the Soldier of the Pantheon. So that's not bad for 6 mana, getting some more creatures into play, but it's not really all that incredible this late in the game, facing down a bunch of dinosaurs. So let's see what Drone of War can do with Tatyova here. They went for trade routes. And yeah, just going to do a bunch of stuff with trade routes here. I imagine they'll discard some lands, or maybe they're just trying to hold up some landfall. And going back round to their turn, I think they activated it about, I don't know, 3 or 4 times there, something like that. Now playing the Tatyova, or playing a land into Tatyova, I should say. They've got 5 cards in hand, but we know a few of those are lands. Now discarding one of the lands that they bounced with the trade routes to draw. And doing the same thing again. Alright, and now it seems as though there's some politicking going on from Drone of War, which is pretty much his only option at this point. He is asking where Billy Kills is going. He's very much encouraging him. Yeah, Billy Kills is very worried about the mono white player. So hopefully it doesn't come back to bite Billy by ignoring the Simic player here. Asceticism, yeah. Wants to know if he has time to cast an Asceticism. He's obviously trying to protect something here. So I imagine the Asceticism is a setup for next turn. Don't know how much he could possibly have in hand with 4 cards in hand, but might be able to go off with something in a turn or 2. Kills in for Awakening Sun's Avatar, which could come in with haste. It's noteworthy that they've got the activated abilities of Zakama as well if they want it. So they could always blow up the Asceticism if it becomes a problem for them, but they seem to just be tapping out this turn. Not worried about Tatyova one bit. And then it's Rogue's Passage onto the Gishath so that it can get straight through to whoever it attacks. When this enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, destroy all non-dinosaur creatures. Why didn't that trigger? They did cast it from their hand, I think. Or maybe there was something that I didn't see. Maybe it came off of something else. Yeah, it just says Billy Kills cast Awakening Sun's Avatar. Yeah, so not sure why that didn't trigger. Oh, he says it wasn't from hand, okay. Anyway, swinging in. All of this stuff at the white player. This probably takes them out here. There's some big creatures in play. That's a 16-16 with trample. There's a 10-10. Zakama. 13-13. That's an unblockable. And then it's a 7-7 and an evasive 4-8 with double strike. Both of these are going to block on the Zakama. And they can gain some life from the Pristine Talisman, which might be relevant on blocks. Alright, and going down to 1 there. So, had they have blocked and tapped the Pristine Talisman, they might be in a better situation here. But the Zakama goes down at least. It might be that the white player has a board wipe. Now deciding to tap the Pristine Talisman. Gain a life, put a plus counter on Sun Titan. And it is Fire Shrieker. So no board wipe, seemingly. They can equip and give something double strike here. Yeah, it is a 2 equip, so probably going to give the Sun Titan lifelink. It has double strike and vigilance already. And they're just trying to keep themselves in the game at this point, I imagine. Might as well swing in with it because it has vigilance. That's a means of gaining life twice, 18 this combat and then 18 in your opponent's. Now getting the Abzan Falconer to give even more evasion, so all of their stuff is going to have flying. But deciding to put the plus counter on the Sun Titan from the Falconer entering. So now it's 20 life they're going to gain here. And that went in at Drone of War, by the way. Do they have any flyers over here? Oh yeah, they've got the Zetalpa, haven't they? And this doesn't have... Yeah, that doesn't have Trample. So Zetalpa being the reason that Billy Kills has stayed in play for the most part, I think. Because definitely would have swung in over there if it wasn't for this. But Gogo managing to get himself up to 24. A massive life swing with the Tatyova player. Now let's see if Drone can do anything to keep himself in the game. Going for bouncing lands with trade routes again. And then playing a land for the card draw up to 6 in hand. Drone seems to have paused for a long time here, so he's either gone AFK, or his client's crashed, or he's trying to think something out here. I don't know if he's got some kind of combo that he can try and pull off here. Obviously trying to work something out if his client hasn't crashed. Yeah, there we go. We knew he was up to something. That's where all the politicking was coming from. He bought himself some time nicely. Mass manipulation. Stealing the Zetalpa, the Abzan Falconer, and the Gishath, Sun's Avatar, which is a big flying T-Rex effectively with the Abzan Falconer. Got themselves the silver-clad Ferocidons as well. The big Trampler. So there we go. Tatyova getting himself back into the game. Not sure if... Yeah, that doesn't have Trample. That one does. But I doubt they could push through enough damage to take Drone of War out of it. Oh, actually, there's Rogue's Passage, isn't there? So now is the time to take out the Simic player if you're going to do it. I'd worry a lot less about the white player if I were you. Continuing to make use of Rhythm of the Wild, Temple Altisaur. If a source would deal damage to another dinosaur you control, prevent all but one of it. And then a Trapjaw Tyrant, that's a really good Enrage one as well. Holding up the 4 mana for the Rogue's Passage, which he hopefully won't forget about. This came in with a plus counter, while the Trapjaw came in with haste, by the way. And there we are, the Rogue's Passage. Alright. Going on to a 3-3. Yeah. Could have taken out the Simic player here, but apparently not all that worried about doing that. I don't think Tatyova's been very well respected this game. So deciding to take Drone down to 1. Yeah, not sure what the plan was there. And it's not as though Gogo can take him out either, because there's 1, 2, 3 flyers in the way, and they've had flying knocked off of all of their white stuff anyway, thanks to the Falconer moving over here. Putting the lifelink on Sun Titan again. And down comes that Adorned Pouncer, which will gain them a life from the Celebrant, and they'll probably put a plus counter over here. And there we are, Drone being attacked by an 11-11 double strike with lifelink and vigilance. And they can just block with Zetalpa all day long because it is indestructible. They'll gain their 22 life at least though. So the mono white player jumping straight back up to 48. So Tatyova being given yet another turn, surprisingly. Getting down a mana dork in Elvish Mystic. They'll have to do something this turn, because I don't imagine Billy Kills will make the same mistake twice. Unless he's actively trying to keep the Tatyova player in play. 6 cards in hand over there. And a trade route's being activated over there, and I think they, discarded a forest. Now Bala Ged's Recovery, that's a really good one. They returned Curse of the Swine, so they can get rid of some problem creatures here, especially with Gaia's Cradle. Still won't necessarily help them though, because even a 2-2 boar with Unblockable can get rid of them here. Don't think they've got any lifelink anywhere. So there we are, Curse of the Swine, getting rid of everything from this side of the field. Just because of the Rogue's Passage, but like I said, a boar can still get through and kill them, so 5 cards left in hand. They'll have to make a lot of landfall here to gain the life with Tatyova. And then Gishath is swinging in at the white player, as is the Ferocidon. These two have flying. Swinging in the other two at Billy Kills. And using some boars to block some damage here. I'm not sure if they've got lethal on them. Yeah, they probably do actually, because that's a 16-16 with Trample. And then a 4-8 with Double Strike coming in as well. Is, yeah, going to take them down. So they are being forced to block with a bunch of boars here. Yeah, so going down to 11 there, thanks to all the boars blocking. And Go-Go is taken out. They go down to 11. I think they might have been able to hold a boar back there. I'm not sure, I'll have to look back at it, but I think they could have held a boar back and then used it to get rid of Drone with the Rogue's Passage. That assumes that they don't gain a bunch of life here. Anyway, Go-Go went down during that combat. There is Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, so that could have dealt with the boar that remained anyway. They could have just lightning bolted it, so looks like Drone of War has probably got this one. Although Billy Kills might still be able to pull it out of the bag when it enters the battlefield. 3 damage to an opponent or Planeswalker. So if this lands, then they've still got it. They went -X on the Ugin, by the way, to get rid of all of their stuff, enchantments and the like. But it looks like Billy Kills might pull it out of the bag here. Yeah, and there we go. Much, much closer than it should have been. Yeah, should have gotten rid of the Tatyova player before then. A dead giveaway was when Drone of War was in the chat and he was trying to encourage Billy Kills over this way. If you've got a player trying to convince you to do something, you can pretty much assure yourself that it is in their best interest and not yours. So yeah, that's just how politics and the game is played. So it's just something to bear in mind. If a player's trying to have you do something, then it's probably for their benefit and not yours. Anyway, almost very well done by Drone of War. But Billy Kills managed to win this one out with a very good Burning Sun's Avatar, just managing to beat them out there. I dare say that would have been probably one of their only means of winning there. If you enjoyed this game, then be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.